You've already visited the builder's model home, picked your floor plan and your lot, and you're dreaming about picking your own finishes and colors. Now that you've decided to buy new construction, you'll want to watch this before you sign your contract. And if you missed part 1 of my new construction series, check the description below for the link. You always want to upgrade wisely. It's really easy to blow your budget on a building job once you start making decisions about your selections and your upgrades. There is a markup that gives the builder additional profit on almost every selection and upgrade that you can choose. You're also rolling that cost into your loan. Now, if you make upgrades after you close and move in, you're going to be coming cash out of pocket for the material and the work. So it's important to upgrade wisely. Spend your money first on fixed elements, fixed items that are difficult to replace later on, or that could cause damage when you're removing or replacing them. Structural features, cabinets, and countertops, they're at the top of that list. You can wait to upgrade and specialize things like your lighting, appliances, and flooring later on. You'll likely be able to take your time and shop around and get something really unique and also on sale and find an installer who can do the job well and do it affordably. And unless you really need to have a fence ASAP, it's usually cheaper to get a fence done after closing if you go directly through an installer. You also want to make sure that you understand builder incentives. If you're doing a build job and you're building from start to finish, it's going to be really hard to get any builder concessions outside of your closing cost, unless you're operating in a buyer's market. Then you might stand a chance, but for a building job, you need to understand that the builder doesn't have to build that home. There could be another buyer a day, a week, a month down the road who wants to build on that same lot, maybe build a more profitable floor plan. Maybe they choose to add more upgrades, and then they'll also make even more money from those upgrades. So there's very little reason for a builder to incentivize you on a building job. If a discount or a deal are important to you, you're better off going after standing finished inventory, which is also called a spec home. Builders occasionally run specific incentives on spec homes, as well as building jobs, and sometimes both. That incentive could be upgrading your appliance package, or giving a specific dollar amount in additional upgrades, or maybe offering a rate buy down with whoever their preferred lender is. Shopping around for your mortgage lender is also really important when you're working with a builder buying a new home. One of the really attractive aspects of buying from a production builder is guaranteed to be their offer to pay your buyer's closing costs. But that's only if you work with their preferred lender and preferred closing attorney. But it's not always the best option or the best financial deal for you as the buyer. Well, why not? It's because the builder is not always coming out of pocket for that exact cost to pay your closing fees. They could be seeking reduced or even eliminated fees from those preferred partners, and those partners in turn recoup that loss by charging you a higher interest rate. And that keeps you paying more for your home every month over the entire duration of your mortgage loan. So please be sure to understand exactly how that closing cost benefit is being provided to you. And never be afraid to shop around with other lenders and make sure that you are getting the best loan program, the best interest rate, and also the best customer service experience that is possible for you. And if you find a better deal elsewhere, don't be afraid to take that back to the preferred partner and try to negotiate the same deal with them, or to ask the builder to pay those closing costs towards the other provider. I can't stress this enough. Read the contract. Whether you are buying a resale home or a new home, it is so important to read and understand your contract. And it's even more important when you're buying a new home. Unlike resale homes, where the contracts tend to be more balanced between the buyer and the seller, builders, especially production builders, they have contracts that benefit them, the builder, exclusively, and not you as the buyer. So you need to know what the contract says. What happens if construction's delayed? How long can the builder delay closing without there being any financial penalty? Or at what point can you say enough and terminate the contract without penalty to yourself? Under what circumstances can you get your earnest money back? Can the builder force you to close on the home if you're not happy with the finished product? All of these questions will be spelled out in your sales contract. So make sure you understand your obligations and the builder's obligations before you sign. And if you don't understand, please contact a real estate attorney and seek their advice and their representation. You definitely want to consider doing inspections in multiple stages of construction. Most home buyers know that you do inspections on a home before you close when it's a resale home, but not very many buyers find value in home inspections on new construction. And I'm here to tell you that they are very valuable. And also too, you do not have to wait until the home is complete to actually start doing them. You can hire a home inspector to do inspections throughout the various stages of the building process. You could have a foundation, a pre-drywall, a completed home inspection. Even though the builder has to pass local building code inspections, it really never hurts to protect yourself and have another professional who is there to represent you have a second look, because things do get overlooked in new construction, and it's better to go ahead and catch it and resolve that up front before you close. Your final walkthrough and your orientation, this is your opportunity to learn about your new home and to bring up any outstanding cosmetic and construction-related issues that need to be resolved before you close. I highly encourage you to physically be present for this. Do not outsource this to your agent or to another person unless this is literally the only option. This is your chance to be as happy with the home as possible before you move in and close on it. The builder or the project manager is going to educate you about the different systems and components of the home, where they're located, and how to maintain them, which is really important because that protects your investment in your new home. You're going to learn how to use certain features, who to contact if there's an issue with the home after closing, also important to know. And then you'll have a chance to do what some call a blue tape walkthrough. That's a lot of fun. You get to channel your inner mean girl and put little pieces of blue painter's tape on every flaw in the home that you can find, while the poor project manager is over in the corner having a little mini stroke as they watch you go to town. And then your agent is right there with you doing the same thing, egging you on. So it's super fun for the community project manager, and it's really important and really necessary for you so that you're happy with the finished product before you close and move in. You really need to understand closing delays if you're buying new construction. Throughout the building process, you have to understand that the builder has minimal control over things like labor shortages, and they have even less control over supply chain issues, and they have absolutely no control whatsoever over weather-related delays. And that means that while they have some control over being able to hire more subcontractors, when it comes to supply chain issues, that's a lot more difficult to tackle. And while there's a lot of labor shortage and supply chain issues that have resolved themselves the last couple years, it is still something that builders are dealing with. And they're dealing with it more than they ever had to prior to COVID. And these things can and they will stretch out your construction timeline and possibly delay your closing. So please be sure that you understand this and that you plan your move accordingly. Comfort letters. Comfort letters are frequently used by builders when it's time to close on your home, but there are some outstanding items in the home that the builder still needs to address. It could be replacing a broken window, or maybe swapping out an appliance, or any other number of items that need to be addressed. So long as there is a certificate of occupancy in hand that will allow the builder to close and allow you to move in, the builder is likely going to want to issue you a comfort letter that outlines what items they're going to address after closing and how long they have to do that. This is a common practice, and your contract might even specify that you have to close on the home and allow the builder that time to resolve those items after the closing, so long as that comfort letter is provided. That's why it's important to read your contract. New construction truly offers a lot of benefits to a buyer, but it is not necessarily the best option for all home buyers. There are so many layers, nuances to understand about new homes and builders and new communities. So if you missed part 1 of my new construction series, be sure to check it out here.